Okay, you might remember in our last video I showed you how to enable sound in our BandLab. So I've opened BandLab again. I go up here to the right hand side and I make sure that there is no red cross on that camera. If there is, I click on it and I make sure I select continue allowing camera access with BandLab. I've got that, so it's all okay. So we're going to actually create a new project. We're going to begin to work on our BandLab project. So I click on create. I select the voice microphone. You can see this green line right here is moving when my voice moves and talks, so that means everything should be working. And just to double check that, make sure over here on import, it's still got the microphone nominated. Now for our little project today, I'm going to record in one page of the children's book Where the Wild Things Are. You might remember this book from when you were a little person, but just as a bit of a walk down memory lane, this is the book here that we're talking about. So I've taken the text from one page of that book and I'm going to record my voice in. I will need to select that red button. It will give me a countdown and then I'll begin. The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And stop at the end. Now, let's just make sure before we go on that's all working. The wild things roar. Okay, great. So you can see there's a flat line of the sound wave in parts, and that's where I wasn't talking. Now, I might want to make that bigger or I might want to make that smaller. So I'm going to show you one edit tool right now in this video. We access that edit tool by double-clicking on that track. You can see it comes up in my working window. I'll just close that. And I can work with some fine details a little bit better. It's a bit like a magnifying glass. The first thing I'm going to do is take it back to the beginning. Right at the beginning, there was a little bit of paper shuffling noise. So I want to get rid of that. So I take my cursor right to that point there. Up on the left-hand side, under View, you will see there's a little thing that looks a little bit like a book. When I hover over it, it says Slice at Playhead. When I do that, it's like splitting the track into two. So now I have two portions. That enables me to do something with this part here and with this part here and move them around. I'm actually going to use that to be able to delete that paper noise. I take this back to the beginning, take my cursor back, and you'll notice now that sound is gone. The what? Now you just hear a little bit of breath noise of me breathing in. We might even want to get rid of that. So I can take this here. Again, I go up, I select that. I have two portions. Now I can either make it longer or shorter. I'm going to delete. Take this back to the beginning. Check by moving my cursor back and playing. The wild things. I'm happy with that. There's no noise at the beginning. I can always have silence at the beginning by moving that track. And you can see that effect here. The wild things. So that works quite nicely. I'm happy with it coming in at that point for now. It gives me some flexibility. Now, the other thing I want to do is have a look at here. There is another pause. Now, sometimes we pause a long time in a story. Sometimes it's a short time. Sometimes we might want to make that longer. So I'm going to take my cursor to there. And I'm going to split that at this stage, so I've got some flexibility of things I can do with that. You can see up here, I can see the big picture of what's going on right now. If I move the cursor up there, it moves it down the bottom as well. It just gets hidden behind the picture of myself in your bottom right screen. There's some portions in here where I might want to actually add some silence as well. So I'm just going to play. I'm actually going to use that cursor there, and I'm going to play. All things roared their terrible roars. Okay, so let's go back and listen again. I might want to actually stop after the wild things roared. The wild things roared. Okay, so right about here, you can see there's a little blip. And I'm actually going to need to select down here for that to work. And there. So there again, you can see I have moved things. So let's just move this along so you can see the effect now. And play. The wild things roared their terrible roars. So now I can insert as much of a pause as I like. Don't forget to hit save, name your project, and we'll meet back next video.